NBA 2K23 just dropped and you have the perfect player build in your head that you're about to drop 250k VC on. But you're about to make the biggest mistake of your life. Stop, watch this video. Yo, what's up guys, it's PowerGotGame back with another video. Now this video is going to help a lot of people from wasting a lot of VC. Now I've seen so many people come into this 2K and not realizing the changes that were made and trying to make the same old builds and making some very common mistakes in the type of builds that we're making. This video we're going to talk about some common mistakes people were making, some common builds that I even see YouTubers promoting, multiple people in the park using, but they're actually really terrible. This is not going to be a video about dumb builds like please don't make a 5-7 lockdown, or please don't make a prospect build with 60 on everything and nothing, no high stats. Like I'm gonna assume you guys have common sense, and we're gonna break down some builds that here people are actually using and they're terrible. So first thing, because I see a lot of people do this. This is the first mistake I kind of want to break over. I see so many people do this because they think this is last year, because it was a really popular build last year. They're gonna make a point guard and they're going to builder and they'll just put down the height that's like 5'10", 5'9", or 5'10". They'll put down the weight all the way, because especially in 22 next gen, but even in 22 current gen, small guards were super good. You could be out there with a 5'10", 5'11" player and just completely dominate. Even in Pro-Am, a lot of dudes would run these type of builds. Now this year, you do not really want to be running a build under 6 feet. You don't get any kind of advantage from it. You're such a defensive liability. Like, it's ridiculous. And if you go into builder, and don't assume minimum weight, because I know for years, guards, every single guard would put down the minimum weight. Look at, sometimes guards this year are a lot better if you max out the weight or you put the weight up, because people are so used to upgrading their players in the same way. And that's why a lot of people, they go in the builder, they'll try to max out the stats. That's another thing too. You have to look selectively at your stats. I always encourage people, look analytically. What badges do you want? Look at what badges you want. Then ask yourself, what ratings do I need to get those badges? And there's exceptions to certain badges. The exceptions to certain badges, because some ratings just give you abilities by itself. Like pass accuracy, that's the speed of your passes. So you need a pass accuracy even if there's no badge connected to it. But if you try to go out here and you say, okay, I'm gonna max out my mid-range shot, I'm gonna max out my 3-point shot, let me max out my playmaking too, you're done. Like you're already done. Like you're already, look at this. This is ridiculous. You're already done with your build. Like this is terrible. If you try to remake these guards that have shooting mats, playmaking mats, physical mats, and they can have a little bit of finishing, or they're good at everything else, you will end up with a build that is horrible in every single way. So what you want to do, number one, balance your builds. Number two, don't make an automatically super short build, because a lot of times heights don't matter as much, because you can make a taller player and still have a really good speed. And we're going to see that in big men too. But with guards, you don't have to automatically just make the smallest player and think that's going to give you advantage, because in this year, it's not going to automatically give you advantage. In fact, it's probably going to give you a disadvantage. So make sure you make a build that gets the stats you want, not just, well, this is where it was relevant last year. So come at this with a new mind. So the really small under 6 feet guards are not it this year. I promise you guys. I would suggest making like a 6'1" or something if you want to make a smaller guard. But under 6 feet, you're pushing it and you're not getting much reward for what you're really making. So that is the first type of build I want to show you guys. Now the second type, we'll go back here, because a lot of people go in here and they try to make this type of build, because this is another build that is super popular. They will make the inside build. Like the most common center build was the center. You go in here, the 6'8" paint piece. People used to call it what? The blob build. The pure red. You guys know what I'm talking about. The pure red inside center. They'll go 6'8". What used to be 6'8", 240 or something like that. But you can actually go smaller this time. So they'll go this. They'll max out their wingspan. And when you make a build like this, it's not too terrible. What you gotta understand is, if you're making it inside this year, you have the ability to do so much more. So there's no reason to go out here and, okay, we're gonna max out the drive and dunk, we're gonna max out the standing, we're gonna max out post control, and then we're gonna max out the speed, we're gonna max out acceleration. Like, you should not make this type of build. One, because it's really hard to balance, because once again, you have to balance your attributes. But second of all, you're limiting yourself so much by being shorter, because like I said, you're not gonna get a 90 speed on these players anymore by being 6'8". You can make a player, if you're inside, I recommend don't make an inside that's smaller than about 6'10". I say 6'10", 6'11", 7 feet insides are way better, because they're better at rebounding. You still can get a pretty good speed, and you're not going to be able to get bodied as much. So don't make these same heights below, because you're not getting the advantage for being 6'7" or 6'8" like you did in the past. So the 6'8" and small inside center, 6'8", 6'9", or even 6'7", do not make a 6'7" inside. If you're a shorter player, the only reason you should be making these shorter players because people do them for the jump shots. If you're a big man. So if you're over 6'10", you don't get all the good jump shots. So if you're a stretch, okay, make it 6'8" or 6'9", but there is no reason to be out here making an inside center that's literally 6'8". There's no reason. There's no reason at all. So pay attention to that. Put the extra height on your player. Do not get in the trap of making these type of players, because they're going to get bodied in the paint. Doesn't matter how much, if you max out all your defense in every single area, you're not going to have as good as defense if you were longer and you were taller. So for inside players, consider taller inside players. Do not make these small centers, because they're going to get bodied in the rec. They're going to get bodied in the park if you play a taller player, and they're not going to have the advantage of a popper or a stretch where they can go out and shoot. So if you decide to make a 6'8" or 6'9" big man, make sure it can spread the floor. That's all I'm going to say in terms of big men and centers. So the next build, and this is another popular one that I see a lot of people doing this, is the two-way playmaker. They go down and they go to point guard and they try to recreate, because it's the two-way playmaker, the two-way slashing playmaker in 2K20, the two-way playmaker last year, it was really good. But don't make a 6'5" build. And I know people come in here and say, okay, well, I'm just going to stop my three-pointer at 70. And then we're going to make the playmaking. First of all, there is zero reason to stop your shooting at 70 when you can easily, on all these builds, upgrade to like 80. Second of all, since badges are so connected to ratings this year, if you go with a 70 three-pointer, or you go with these low ratings, you're not going to have the ability to really shoot at a high level, just because you won't get really many good badges at all. First of all, you only get 12 potential badges. You're not going to be able to get tier 3 or even high tier 2 badges, many of them. You're going to be stuck with these simple badges and almost no shooting badges and a low rating. And you're going to be way more limited than all the other players out there. So please don't stop your three-pointer, because I've seen people do this. Don't stop your three-pointer an arbitrary amount, because that worked last year. Don't be afraid to upgrade your three-pointer as high as you can, because there's not the advantage in last year. They're not forcing you into a box of you have to literally keep it at a certain pie chart. You are creating your own player and what you want. So if you want to be able to shoot, upgrade your shooting. Like, I know that sounds obvious, but if you want to be able to shoot, upgrade your shooting. Don't leave it at the low rating. So the two-way playmakers, any guard with a low three-pointer in general is pretty much dead. Unless you're going to be like a pure slasher or something. But I think that's just silly. Because if you're going to be a pure slasher, you should be tall. You should be probably a 6'8", 6'9", because a 6'2", 6'3" slasher is not going to be it. So I'm going to say the minimum for guards is probably 80. You know what I mean? And you should probably want to have 85. But no limitless here. You're not going to be able to shoot from deep. There should be no guards thinking they're two-way slashing playmakers with a below 83 pointer. Just don't do it. You're going to end up with a terrible build. You're going to end up limited. You're going to end up not being able to do anything. So if you want to be a more slashing type build, make it bigger. Don't limit yourself to this low shooting, because in this game, and you're going to see how you can do it, you can probably easily upgrade your shooting and go and upgrade your drive and dunk if you want to. And that way you could be that slasher, but you can also be a shooter too. So that's why I've seen a lot of people with the two-way playmaker. Very popular build in previous years. This year, not so much. So you got to watch out for that one. Now, last but not least, guys, a build I want to break down is the stretch build. I've seen a lot of people say stretches are back, but please don't go out here and make a 7-3 stretch. Or even, I'm not a big fan of the 7-1 or 7-foot stretches. And the reason for that, guys, is number one, you gotta realize when you're making a player that's tall, you automatically don't get all the jump shots. So whatever jump shot you get is going to be a bad jump shot release. It's going to be slow. It's not going to be as effective as the people with the smaller jump shots. And that's why you recommend, if you're making a strat, to make it under 610, because you don't want to be limiting the jump shots you can choose. Number 2 is when you upgrade your 3-point and you're shooting all the way like this, you kind of just limit, in this player, you kind of just limit all the other stuff you're able to kind of do. And I've seen a lot of players, another thing a lot of people have done is they don't upgrade their pass accuracy. Please, no matter if you're a stretch, if you're a center, no matter who you are, please upgrade your pass accuracy this year. Like I said, it's the speed of your passes, because if you don't upgrade your pass accuracy, then your passes are going to be slow, they're going to get intercepted, and you're going to find yourself like you can't pass the ball and you're unplayable in the court. So don't go and max out a tall stretch, because you're not going to have to shoot it, and you're going to make yourself weak in other areas. The only time I could see like shooting on a kind of like big man is if you're like a post scorer type. Like if you try to be like a post scorer and you can add the shooting in there too, and you can do the lone fades and the lone hook that a lot of people do. But in terms of a pure stretch big and they don't have any post options, no. You should only have shooting if you're like post 2. You should have that post kind of factor in your repertoire if you're going to be that tall. So guys, that's going to conclude the video. Let me know, was any of your builds in here similar to any of these builds on here? Let me know in the comment section. Are there any really popular builds that you guys have seen posted? And people they're just terrible. You see a lot of people using them, but they're not as good as people think. Because we're gonna help people out. We're gonna get them out of making these terrible builds and hopefully stop people from wasting any more VC than they have to. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm going to try to make some more videos warning you guys about what not to do, but we're also going to drop a lot of videos telling you guys exactly the builds you should make, because it's good to tell you guys what not to do, but we also have to lead you guys in the right direction. So I'm going to make a video soon, probably in the next couple of days. We're going to break down all the best builds for multiple positions. We're going to give you a good lockdown build, a good guard build, a good center build, for insides, for outsides, for 2s, for 3s. It's going to be so kind of detailed that I know you guys are going to appreciate it, but you got to give me some time to get all the info together. So I'm looking forward to that. Leave a comment if you guys already haven't. Drop a like, sub if you guys are new. And don't forget to watch my build video if you guys want to see my personal build that I made. And I am out.